Hey, welcome everybody. So it's a public visual satsang, which I do every couple of weeks or so. Many of you have been here before. We have a few newcomers. So I'm just going to bring up my screen and just share a little bit of an overview of what we do here, and then we'll be diving right into it. Okay, this is satsang number 55. And these have been going since the pandemic swept across North America, and they've been kind of evolving, and more it's moving into more classic non-dual work here. And I'm a coach, so a lot of other things come in here as well on the practical side. Yeah, so meditation for 10 minutes typically, and then we do what are called reports. So anybody who's been here previously, if you care to share, if it's been a while, or if it's been something that's been rippling with events in your life or inner work that you've done, it's always great to get kind of a synopsis on quickly what's been happening if you care to share. And then arisings is what's in the container now. It's different every time. So we're in a different context in the world every time. Each of us are in different contexts in our life. So we just kind of meet what's present in the container with this configuration of people at this time. It works every time. So we'll just see after reports what's here now, what's present. And it'll all be spontaneous inner work. Typically it's about 2 hours. You're welcome to come and go as you like. I ask that you use the chat function if you are leaving, so I know that you're fine when you're leaving. You're not caught by something or reactive with something. Just helps me to hold the container to know you're going away fine. Or if you're not, let me know that too in the chat. Yeah. And sometimes we go into bonus time. Usually we fit it to 2 hours, but sometimes somebody is in the midst of something or there's other people who are kind of stacked up in the queue. And I do have time that I can spill over if need be. So I'll let you know when we get to that time process-wise if that's happening, and give you the option to gracefully exit and or continue along with us. This is, everything is welcome. So there's a lot of division and various things going on in the world. So we may even have it in our small container in terms of different viewpoints or perspectives or places. It's all welcome. We're in an interesting time as well with information and where things can be said and not be said. So depending on what arises here, I have 2 places to place things. More, approved mainstream kind of stuff can go into YouTube. And if there's anything that YouTube and its AI may find objectionable, I will put it over on Rumble. We're working with one way to language it is the 3 minds, right? Most of us in the Western world are pretty grokked over on the left brain, on the logical and the linear and the rational. That is totally welcome and wonderful. However, often we want to also bring in the heart and bring in the belly, right? Other ways of just languaging and accessing our fuller being. And I just love that little graphic of the 2 sides of the brain there, just kind of hugging each other, right? So oneness. I am a visual practitioner, have been for several decades now, and I have a whole suite of tools that I have developed. Some of them may pop up, or I may just work spontaneously with blank paper on my digital tablet that's here. Also, there might be, especially for time-wise, we may slip right into just working verbally, right, as opposed to notes. So we probably have a mix of that. There is a page where some of these tools are that I've collected that come up often in satsang, and you can find it right here. Jill will type it up and stick it in our chat for us as well. So community support off of my website /maps. And you're welcome if you care to zing over and get those maps, maybe even use them today if they come up in the satsang. Many of you I know are visual practitioners or interested in that work. I'd like to mention the next date as we get going, because people may leave at various times. I will do this again at the end. And there's our course, if you're on my list, which all of you who are here live are, you'll get heads up and reminders as these dates draw close. So the next one, I try to mix the days and the timing and stuff. So Friday, February 10th will be the next one from noon to 2 p.m. Pacific time. Anybody have any questions on the overview or process? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So with that, we'll just start with meditation. So I just set my timer so I don't get lost in stillness. Probably with all the tea I've had, I won't. And so I'll meet you back in here. You're welcome to keep slides on. Nobody will be seeing you on the recording because we insert a slide. So if you're concerned about how you look meditating, don't worry about it. I'll keep the video on as well. So I'll just pop up with a soft welcome once those 10 minutes are done. Okay. It's a gift to be able to sit together. Thank you. You're welcome. Hi, those of you who've come in while our eyes have been closed. Just take your time returning to this consciousness, and we'll just see if there's any reports. We'll go there first. Not necessary, but welcome. And then we'll see what's arising. You looked very tan, Mateo. You must be somewhere. Yeah.
Somewhere.
If no reports, we'll just segue into what's here, what's present. And it might be something very practical, or it may be something opposite of that. Ah, that's where you are. Cool. I see the chat. I'm watching beach and envy arise. Ah.
I'm really happy, Christina, that this fell on a day I could actually attend. First
Nice.
time. Yeah, first time. I'm really happy.
It's good to see you. It's been a bit.
It's been a really long time, and life's good. I have a job I love. For the first time in my life, I have a job I love. I even do work after hours. Yeah, it's cool.
Yay, that's so awesome, and getting goosebumps. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best thing. I work with housing for homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a team that works ahead of us, and they go out in the river valley and talk to people in tents and stuff, and they get them set up in an apartment with furniture, all that, power, utilities, and then they hand them over to us. And then I love it. It's right from, do they need ID? Have they done their taxes? Just ways they can
all
get
the
money.
important stuff.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, there's a lot of government programs. If you haven't done your taxes, you can't get the programs. So, yeah, it's just the best job ever.
That's so wonderful, because that was certainly a focus for you for a while. So it's wonderful to hear that the alignment's happened, and great to see the smile on your face.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm glad I did those awful 6 months in Hinton.
Out of the contrast, came the rocket of desire, and now it's aligned. Yeah, whole different. Susan moved away from the town that she's in, as she said, had a horrible experience somewhere else, and then came back, and now it's a different experience being in the town that you're from. So awesome.
Yeah, it's the best. That's all I'll say. Yeah.
Isn't that nice? I can see LB smiling. So you heard some of that backstory in the past. So that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay. Great report.
This is Lisa. And I was just going to share that I'm aware that this is a really up creative time, like tons and tons and tons of creative juice and energy. And one of my biggest challenges has historically and currently repeats that is just like this longing for a structure that I can actually see some accomplishment instead of just doing everything a little bit half-assed just because I feel so overwhelmed. And so it's just a really super deep yearning. I'm just going to put out there this structure that really sticks for me. And I feel like every time I bring it up,
right in there.
Yeah, I feel like every time I bring it up, I'm like an old broken record. So I don't want to be a broken record. I just want to.
Well, it's normally another layer of the onion, so to speak, right? So, and all of us have our certain patterns and conditionings and stuff that we're meeting at certain stages in our life, right? So let's I'm just going to bring up my drawing program. We're just going to go meet it and see what's here now. If I can see where my drawing program is. Maybe it didn't open up. I just have to close something so the program can find it. There we go. Now, you said structure stands out to me, and I think there were some other essence words there, but that sounds like the first thing to go meet, right? This longing for opposite of half-assed.
Mm-hmm. It's like opposite to overwhelm, like too many things, and I just work from one to the other, like with no ability to stop when I have an idea or some engine towards something.
Okay, so let's get those first because they're the other flip of the polarity. So overwhelm, half-ass. And by the way, everybody, but when we work with someone, we kind of dive into what's up with them. There may be parallel processing, which means it may be relevant for you or somebody you know or work with it, that sort of thing. Or it may not be. So just if it's not, you're just kind of holding space and adding your energy in here. It's a co-creation. So there's stuff you're doing, even if it doesn't look like you're doing, right, by being here. Okay, so we're kind of overwhelmed and half-ass, and there's this desire for the nixing of them, so to speak. And then therefore, if you flip these, what's the opposite of the overwhelm?
It's just a simple logical groove or rhythm.
Great. Simple groove, rhythm.
There's some order. It's priorities are clear.
Excellent. Okay, so all this is coming out nicely here. And we said longing. Okay, so it may say simplistic, and at one level it is, but there's a lot going on underneath the hood. So just there's a natural aversion, at least at this stage of things, right, to overwhelm. And you don't like it or haven't liked it up till now. So that's natural. It's probably, my body feels it. So oftentimes it's head, and the head might be too, but I can certainly feel overwhelmed and half-assed. Half-assed might be your doer. So we're just going to welcome the doer and the thinker who's analyzing this and calling it half-assed, right? So just welcoming all that, not making it wrong, but just recognizing there's some don't like it going on there. And it's provoking this longing. Probably what you do like is this structure and simplicity and groove and rhythm and order and priorities clear. That's a yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just meeting what's going on here. And just noticing what happens now as you just meet both of them.
Oh, I'm very aware that it's just like this reoccurring, like just a shame that I cannot accomplish simple things. There's so much overwhelm. or can't track my ideas. There's so many ideas.
Let's just
but
go
I
with
can't-
shame, because that
Yeah.
was already kind of present, right? It was already like, I can't believe I'm here bringing the same thing again,
Mhm.
which a lot of times we'll do because we're working something. So, and it's normally connected to a whole big thing, right? A whole big conditioning pattern or something. So it's not as simple as it seems often. So, oh, hello, Shane, you are welcome here. Not an easy thing to say, but even if the words don't ring, you are welcome here to the shame. And we're all doing it as a satsang too. Probably others here. I could feel it as soon as we welcomed it. I could feel this whoop kind of show up. So shame has come to satsang. Hello, hello, shame. And just just sweetness towards it. And maybe an extension out to it, right? Come here, or I'm here. Just see if that works. So there might just be something else, but try the soft approach and see if you can access that first. And if not, tell me what you notice instead.
I just keep going blank.
Oh, okay. That's something actually. Yeah. So now we'll just witness the blank, because blank can be a lot of different things, but sometimes, you know, the whole numb out or go by, or maybe you just drop down the stillness that's underneath anything. I don't know, but just welcome the blank. Just kind of swim on up to it even closer and just say, oh, hello, blank. How interesting. I meet shame and then you are fast on its heels. And just see as you get curious, right? As opposed to anything else you might typically do with blank. As you get a little curious about it, and you just welcome it and hello. Anything that happens, anything you notice.
No, with blank, I just feel like blank is just saying, I'm your ally.
Yeah. So this is some sort of coping mechanism or something, probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, so just go with that. Hey, good to know. Hello, ally. Allies are welcome. Maybe give it, since it's an ally and friend, you know, letting you know that. Maybe give it something nice, like thank it for its allyship. Give it a hug. Or
yeah, it's a relief, because to sit with shame is really like, ugh. But the blank just makes it all easier. Like I can still see through to the shame in a way.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. So it's like a buffer or something. Kind of protects you. It's something in between. So that's good to know, right? It's kind of doing something. It's awesome. You can still see it, because sometimes that's a wall where you can't. But hey, thanks, ally. And so just do that. Obviously, you're able to still connect with shame, but through this buffer of this blank. So what do you notice as you do that?
There's almost like a glass bottom boat. And so I'm able to see underwater, if you will say. And I am familiar with a long relationship with the shame parts, and like not just in myself, but how I feel shame when other people shame another person, and what that hits in me.
So that was a lot of great info, right? Even if it's not great to obviously be experiencing it. So it's this glass bottom boat, you're just really able to see that. And it sounded like within and without, right? So kind of doing it both. Within me, at others. And I missed it, but I think you said long lasting or long existing.
Yeah, it's long. It's very familiar.
Familiar.
Yeah.
Okay, so just we're working with consciousness with a capital C, and it's working beautifully with you as you meet it. So just thanking it for the metaphor of that glass bottom boat, and that as you're looking down there, it's very familiar, and you can see it within you. You apply the shame and then project it out, and then judgment on others. And just thank you for the insight, for the depth that it just showed you. And just see what happens from here.
Oh, I'm just really deeply impacted right now by how unhelpful it is, and how I just felt like a tender pang, and just like it's so not helpful.
Well, that's going to be the mind. So I'm just going to draw the mind coming in here, and it's coming in with an analysis saying, not helpful. So not helpful. Don't like it. And probably just a longing and desire for something different. So we just welcome them both. And just agree maybe with the mind, right? Because it's not a lot of fun. So, and it's practical. So it's saying, hey, this isn't helpful. We can't really do what we want to do if we've got this shame thing going on. So that's pretty accurate, right? It does interfere. So, okay, mind, we're with you. You're tracking. Now, I'd invite you to go a little deeper, because we've got the mind's input on it, but go a little deeper in the body. Try the heart or even the belly. And we're going to get their take on it. If they kind of do the same analysis as mind and doer, or if they got another perspective.
I'm more able to access the belly, and I'm not sure what the feeling is right now.
What did you say to begin with? Did you
I'm
say
more able to access
more
the belly.
able? Okay.
Able, yeah. Like
Yeah,
I don't
so
feel
the heart's
the heart. Yeah.
heart. Yeah, skip the heart. So that's interesting information. So we'll come back to the heart, but then we're going down into that belly. And even if it's not particularly accessible, you said you're able to go there. There's more an inclination. So just, oh, hello, belly. And just not even worry about this saying, just kind of come in contact with the belly and just be there, be beside it or in it or aware of it. Spend a little time with it. No rush. It's a big deal to go contact the belly. Oh, hello.
I get this very visceral, like deep clay kind of. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like really clay. You know how clay has a texture that's not dirt?
Yeah, it's thicker.
And you can really like leave a mark in it.
Yeah.
And it's the viscosity, it's just like it's got like it kind of pushes back.
Interesting.
And it's very dark, like chocolatey brown.
Okay. So just thank it for the information as you're kind of connecting with it, and there's all sorts of communication, if you will, from it. It's very emitting, it's sharing stuff with you. Even if the mind doesn't totally understand what that all means, it's still communication. So thank you.
And having done that, I actually can now feel my chest and my shoulders and a roundness in me that just connects up my upper body together.
Jill, there's someone in the waiting room. Can you pop them in for me? Thanks. Sorry, Lisa. Now you notice?
Yeah, just my upper body is like more available altogether with my belly.
Okay, as you met it. So good. I'm just going to kind of draw that underneath here. So the upper body is coming online. So welcome to it. And in the shoulders, you said, the shoulders kind of show themselves.
And my arms, which are so much a part of the creative.
Ah, you're a maker. Yes. Yeah, so welcoming.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, neck. Hello, arms. You're welcome here.
And my mouth is watering.
Mm-hmm. Watering mouth.
I actually feel a lot of excitement, like exciting energy rising, like just like I want to do all these things I'm trying to do are things I want to do, and most of them are. And there's
Good.
an
So the
impatience.
excitement, the rising energy, the wanting, that kind of momentum and desire. So just yes, please. Yes, please. You're right. You're right.
It might be now more impatience than it is shame, having met that.
So shifts happen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's higher up the emotional scale, interesting enough. So we'll just like, oh, hello, impatience. Look at you. Watering mouth. And those hands that want to do stuff, make stuff. Just ask impatience what it was before it was impatience.
Ask impatience what it was before it was impatience.
Yep.
Okay. I just kind of get a sense of like I was tooling along and nothing was in my way.
Tooling reminds me of your dog's name too. I don't know how to spell tooling. If you do, help me out.
I think it's just Tooling, tooling.
Oh, like tooling. Okay, cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it works for me. I'll take it. Tooling along. Yeah, so just, oh, yes, please. Oh, hello. And then something got in the way, right? So, don't like that. No thanks, reruns. And then, oh, hello, tooling. So just kind of inviting it. Just see if there's space for it, if it wants to come in. There might be more space for it now that you've met the other stuff.
There's lots of space for tooling along.
Oh, okay.
Lots of space.
So just inviting it to stretch out, and it'll know how it wants to occupy, right? It'll move if it wants to move, however it wants to move, right? So it might go up, it might go down, it might expand or something else, but just like, come on in.
Oh, it's so interesting because in this moment, I'm sitting in somebody else's house and I have a huge 8-foot long table. And in my house, I have no space. And so I've been wrestling with space for the last 6 months, trying to figure out how to keep one area, like even just to work on. So it's interesting. It just feels like there's this obstacle that's a physical obstacle that I haven't been able to change. And I don't want to give that the power to be the excuse, but it just feels like it's constant.
Oh, but you said right off the bat that there's a big old table there.
Right in front of me, there's a big old table
right.
for 8 days. 8 days.
Yeah. Okay, so just welcome the big old table. Because tooling around is expanding, and good news, there's a big old table right there, which is outside of your norm. How fascinating, how great.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, big old table. You are welcome here. Meet tooling around. Just see what happens.
And then there's an awareness of some pressure and some, maybe it's perfection.
Ah, okay. Good to notice.
Mm-hmm.
So just awe to them. Oh, hello, pressure. My old friend. The artist's old friend or enemy, nemesis. And just tell it not necessary. Or maybe even, I'm sorry, ask it, is it necessary? Who am I to say it's not necessary? Ask it. Is it necessary? Impatience?
Just before this call, I just tapped into how the only way I get things done is with tons of pressure.
That's
And I
common
hate that.
for a lot of us. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so often we're trying to figure out how to do without it being this pressure and this focus and uncomfortable thing in the body. I think that's one I meet a lot too.
Mm.
Yeah. And work a lot with. So just thank for the insight, because that's a great insight to get. And most of us get conditioned as little kids, right? That's what we have to do. And so just coo at that, because there'll be some orphan rescue stuff with that, right? Like, oh, we didn't like that. We didn't like that stuff where we first learned this, like, hey, pay attention. Hey, do this. That made us all tense. And we got to, to get anything done, we got to do that and do that to ourselves. Understandable that it did that, right? It's a natural thing to kind of pick up along the way. Many of us have that. So lots of compassion and sweetness to all those ones of you earlier that naturally did that. And you kind of gather them up in your arms and just say to them, not necessary. Oops. Naturally, you did all that. We didn't realize there was another way. And just see what happens.
Can you write not necessary in there?
Yes, absolutely. Natural, you did that. Natural, that's how you tried to sleuth it and figure it out. But what do you know? It's actually not necessary. So, and just offer to it, making and doing and whatever the opposite of pressure is. We want to introduce it that, oh, what do you know? That can actually go together, because it only knows the other way.
That's a combination of trust and timelessness.
Yeah. Wow. So just thank it for that. Like, woo, awesome. That's wise. Yes, please. Let's combine this table and this longing with trust and timelessness, please. And the hands getting in there with that feel, the belly, the shoulders, the mouth. And what do you notice as you connect with that and introduce it to this doing? Hey, doing, meet trust. Hey, doing, meet timelessness. Hey, body, meet these things.
A little bit of a negotiating going on, like, well, if you remove some pressure, then I can do that. So I still feel the pressure.
Okay, so you went like that, so that kind of gives me a clue. It might be mind, right? So you want to coo at mind, because mind's been using this, and doer has been using this to get stuff done, and it doesn't really want. It's reluctant to release the pressure, understandably. So let's go to it and just hello. And just reassure it, we're still going to be practical. We're still going to get stuff done. We're just going to do it with a different vibe. It's not necessary, this combination that you've had going for a long time. How does it respond?
Like, it's like, I'll believe it when I see it, kind of feeling like, show me that you can get something done. Like, almost like, just show me. And yet at the same time, with trust and timelessness, there was a sense in my body that was more like, you know, there's a lot of things to get done, but there's a few major ones to really have in place to be able to do a sweet opening. And if you just got those done, everything else would be icing.
And how does the mind with it, I'll believe it, show me, as you counter it, as trust and timelessness actually counter it?
There's the pressure's not a factor. It's so much, I don't know, there's a humane aspect to it that just feels like I'm doing this for delight, not to stress myself out.
So just inviting humane aspect. Yes, please. You're welcome here. And delight, just asking them to come on in. Come join trust and timelessness. And what happens is you invite them in and kind of say, hey, stretch on in, take up some more room. You're welcome here.
Oh, it's just very familiar because that's how I work with my dogs in training. And just, it doesn't happen overnight, and it takes a lot of repetition and a lot of just compassion.
Yay.
Yeah.
So just agreeing, yeah, just like that. It's actually teaching you because you already do it over there with the dogs. So it's like, hey, apply that to yourself.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Repetition and compassion, please.
Yeah, I think it's that. I'll say the word simple, but
and profound.
And profound, yeah. Yeah.
Yay, yes, it is. Yes, please. And just checking how the mind and doer respond to that, because it might understand that, right? Because it's there with the dog. So you're giving it kind of a blueprint, right? Something to feel into and overlay onto.
Oh, yeah. And when I go back to my notes and with my dog training, all the goals I had, it's just like, you just have to lay some of those down and just let your dogs teach you what they love. And I think right now is a great time to just learn more about what I love and what I want to do with this business.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ask yourself or something inside there. What's our title?
I just like trust and timelessness.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah.
And feel free, anybody, you can use the chat. It might already be happening. Anything you want to say or parallel process about with what Lisa just brought here as I get the words timelessness up here.
And maybe even just put yes to trust and timelessness in tiny little letters. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
So much. Thank you.
My pleasure. Feels good inside me too. Thank you. Working that same focus pressure thing. Okay, I'll stop the share for a sec. And when we move from one to something else that emerges, right, we just take a second here. I can feel a lot of things going on in my field and body and even my insight track and stuff. So just welcoming all of that. And sometimes there's piggybacking. So something just flows, right? So a piece of work gets done and then a next person pops up. It might be something similar or something that you just piggyback off of that Lisa brought. So we'll just see what the heck wants to emerge here now. A big yes to trust and timelessness. Yeah. Reading the chat. And it can be something different, completely different too. It doesn't have to be in the same theme.
I have something coming up for me.
Hello, Sai.
Hi. Yeah.
Hi, Sai. You are welcome here.
Yeah, I'm going through the process of, I don't even want to call it spring cleaning because it's not that. It's really just letting go of a collection of things that aren't even mine to keep anymore, you know? Be it old memories or whatever they represent are just not a part of me anymore. And somehow, you know, over the years, the collection has gotten bigger. So I have a friend coming over this weekend to help me go through my shed, my just old boxes of stuff that I have not wanted to part with for no other reason other than what they used to represent.
Well, let's just take a moment to actually appreciate what they used to represent before they came boxes.
Yeah. It's even like, I mean, I did it differently this time when I moved into this place. But as I've moved around, it was like sometimes it was just easier not to unpack, but to just put the boxes away. And, but I feel like I'm ready to move on from hoarding.
What's the opposite of hoarding?
Release, freedom.
Yes, please.
Yeah. It's like hoarding carries all this weight, literally baggage. And over the last couple of years, I've been making peace with a lot of mine.
Yay.
Yeah. So I think I feel like I'm ready for this process.
Yes, please.
It already feels it's a very emotional thing.
Yeah, just welcome the emotions.
Yeah.
You don't even have to know why. You may, but just it's welcome. Because often stuff and shifting of stuff is connected to a lot, right? All sorts of chapters of our lives and relationships and dreams that manifested or didn't. So old identities, grieving process.
Old identities, that's a big one.
But just tears and emotions, you are welcome here.
That really struck a chord, you know, and just thinking of the old identities of you know, as I take courses in like energy healing, you know, who I was before this was a musician, a singer, a performer. And that came to a halt in trying to figure out physical pain, and which led me to connecting with, taking these courses, and it feels right. But I do mourn.
Yeah, there's a powerful word, not just grief, but mourn.
Yeah.
So just with mourn, just meeting it. No rush, just agreeing and just meeting with it. Even in a way, just kind of sitting right down with it or lying right down with it.
Lying right down. I like that.
Yeah. Almost like one metaphor that can help with that is like a sandy beach, right? The bottom of the ocean, just lying down with it. Rest, rest.
This this weekend I was offered free attendance to a songwriting camp. And both for me and my partner, and he went because at first I thought it was just one of us was going to be able to go, and I thought I know he really needed it. But then the opportunity came for me to go also, and I passed on it. I mean, first, just in thinking, what am I going to do with my dogs for 5 days, having someone to care for them. But I think if I really, really wanted to make it happen, I could have, and I didn't. So instead, I committed to clearing my space, which also felt good, but not as fun and satisfying.
Mm-hmm. So it might be a little bit of regret emerging, right?
There is some regret.
Yeah. So just go, it's there. So just meeting it. You're right. Hello. Might have been a better decision. Now you can see as you get into the cleaning, although there's a lot going on with this material sorting out going on.
Big.
Yeah.
The cleaning is big.
Yeah. And so is the songwriting camp. So
Yeah.
there's a pull either way. So just acknowledging the pull. And yes, and to the both of them. It's hard to make decisions between two important things.
It was like one was practical
Mm-hmm.
and one was just joy.
Aw. So just agreeing you like both.
Yes.
And maybe after a little of the practical, you're desiring the joy. Naturally. I just had my mind pop up. So I don't know if yours just did.
I'm sitting in a space of thanking both.
Oh, nice. Everything likes honoring. Good idea. Thank you, practicality. Thank you, joy.
But there is something coming up. And in the morning, it's you know, I feel like one of the reasons why I chose the practical side was just because I would have come back to the mess.
Hmm. Okay, good. So mind observer or something is pointing out, and if you had done the other route, then you would have come back to this mess and that would have felt a certain way. Yeah. So just agree with that. That seems pretty wise for it to point out that.
Yeah. Of like having this space where I feel like I can't breathe,
Hmm.
you know.
So yes, please to breathing. So you're doing this to help with being able to breathe, which is going to help with songs and songwriting.
Yeah. The clutter just felt, it's like a foggy window. That's what it reminds me of, just like a
Mhm.
foggy window that you just,
So just agreeing you don't like that is a wonderful metaphor, right? So it's kind of saying, yeah, we don't want a foggy window and we want to breathe. So just agreeing, yeah, we don't want that. That's not going to get us a lot of things. And then yes, please to the breathing. Just inviting the breath, which is happening by what you're doing with the clutter and the hoarding and stuff and sorting that out. It's enabling breathing. It's creating space for breathing.
just like envisioning it does that, is opening that up.
Yep. Yes, please. Good idea. And just do the invited in more, even this breath and the opposite of clutter, right? Space, new beginnings, things moving in and out, evolution, new identities or changes to identities, just lots of space, lots of breathing. And it'll have its own intelligence because you just made an invitation to it. And just see how it responds to the invitation. Does it kind of come closer? Is it up for that invitation? Does a yabba come out?
No, that's just good.
Oh,
It just
good. Excellent. Yeah. Invitation was received.
yeah, my friend reminded me that it's a new moon this weekend.
Oh, excellent. Yes, please, to new moon energy, right? That
Yeah.
whole essence.
So I think the timing was good.
Okay, good. Yay. So it's reassuring you. What do you know? This was actually good timing.
Yeah.
Yay. Yes, please. We like it. Space and breathing and new moon energy and good timing. Yay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Just see if it wants a title. And if so, what's the title?
Let's call it a new moon.
Yeah. New moon rising.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, as Dolly's piece of work finds its way to conclusion and resolution here, you can use the chat. I'm going to suggest we take just a little break. I have a dog that I put into a room so he would be quiet, and he doesn't like it. I can hear him upstairs, so I'm going to go release the hound. Talking about dogs and etc. Yeah. So just a couple minutes for a stretch break, using the chat, etc. And then we'll come back and see what next wants to emerge here. Thank you. I just said I was going to give Dolly's chart a quick save, and then we'll see what's here. I've done that. It's saved. Mm. It's nice to hear your voice. Is it you next, Mateo?
Sorry? Is it me next? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
I can put my voice in the room if you want to.
You did. And then I was like, oh, I like the voice in the room. And so I'm like, I think you're next.
All right.
You might not be, but we'll see.
Could be. I have a few connections with what was shared so far, or what has been shared so far.
Yeah.
So it'll be like an update / share kind of thing, I think.
Great.
Is my volume okay? Just a
Yep.
sound check.
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. I've been in Mexico for a while, and the way I got here, it's through a generosity of a friend who owns a house. He's from DC, which is also where I most recently am from as well.
Yes, please, generous friend.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
He's allowing me to stay at his home here in Playa, which is like 100 yards from the beach. Like
Wow.
Roseback, yeah. And it's a staffed place and no rent, and anyway,
Respite, retreat. Yay.
I'm calling it a
Sanctuary.
yeah. I'm calling it a strategic pause. Strategic
Nice.
pause.
Yes, please. Strategic pause.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do next. So, rewinding the movie reel, turned 50 last June. So tomorrow from Brene.
Welcome to the milestone.
Midlife reawakening is fully on right now.
Uh-huh.
At least I'm trying to awake. That's why I'm here. And
Nice.
about 9 months before that, 8 months before that, my father passed rather abruptly, right?
I think that was the last time I saw you. Yeah.
So some progress has been made, some progress hasn't necessarily here. Since then, my switch flipped. I had been, fast and furiously chasing this professional services, management consulting career, reformed IT project manager into an aspiring
consultant. Yeah. Graphic
right.
facilitator. Yeah.
Great. Turned graphic facilitator. Your training, Christina, helped me get there too. So thank you for that. And when my father passed, I hit like complete overwhelm. So I'm connecting with the first share where overwhelm came up with LB. And again, to quote Renee, it's like the only thing you can do in an overwhelmed state is to stop doing and just reset, time out. And I took a time out from work, short-term disability, and it was super helpful, but it wasn't enough, right? And that was towards the end of 21.
Oh, yeah.
It was down here as well, blah, blah. I tried to go back into the old life, that old persona that I had up until that point. That fire is gone.
Yeah.
It's a whole like, what the hell have I been doing this whole time? Like, this is not living, or that was not living, because I'm not doing it. I can speak to the past on that. So while I was down here at that time, I encountered a new friend who also connected with that short story. Let's just cut to the chase. We connected, and he wants to start a small ship yachting business. And like, I love to sail. It's not sailboat, it's motorboats, but it's fine living on the water. It's in the Caribbean, blah, blah. So I'm like, yes, sign me up. I will quit my life as I know it to do this. I'll just become a deckhand, and for a year, I'll just try it. I don't care. Like,
yeah,
relatively
different world. Yeah.
Yeah. No stress, just like eject. That hasn't come to fruition, and yet I did what I could to structure it so that we could minimize risk. So I got my place to a rentable state, and that is now rented out for a year.
Great.
To a family. And to do that, I had to do some upgrades. To do that, I had to empty it. To do that, I had to sell everything, give away everything, and then throw away everything that was left. And I did all that, and then I quit my
Big
job.
process. Yeah.
Yeah. Quit my job once I had a signed contract with the boat company, and that's supposed to guarantee some sort of minimum wage income, and none of that's happened though. So I did all I could in my control to get here.
Okay. I'm going to bring up the tablet if that's okay by you.
Mhm.
Okay. Give me one sec.
And that dream still might be there. It's just
Yep. Yeah, you're in that limbo land.
complete limbo land. So I'm burning savings, although it's Mexico, so it's like at a third of the rate that it would be in the US, minus no rent. So it's minimum burn right now. But I've started to look at other options. I think the model is I want to stay down here. I want to be down here. So I'm looking into the whole residency process, etc. And yeah, thanks. Definitely between runs.
The neutral zone is what Bill Bridges would call it. Yeah.
Nice.
The oh shit place.
Yeah. Love me some Bridges. Love me some
Yeah.
Bridges. Yeah. So I'm looking at
Let's
money.
thank the mind, because the mind's doing awesome and giving me the blow by blow, almost like a strategic plan, right?
Spent too much time in that space, maybe.
Well, it's natural. I do. Me too, right? Those of us who do that work, and we want to respect it because it's one part of the equation, right? And back to what we've met already with mind, it's always through love, right? When it uses its skills and abilities, right? It has very specific skills and abilities, and thank goodness we have it. And like we saw with Lisa too, often the doer, right? The hands and stuff are in there. For you, I'm going to draw like a little clipboard or something.
Yeah.
Because you did all these to-dos, right? Getting things ready and done and all that organization. So just deep bow of honoring for all that work that happened.
Thank you.
And that's, what Dolly's in the midst of.
Yeah.
And all those plans, some of them kind of crumpled down on you, at least right now. And, now what, right? It may be that. It may be what you were starting to organize. That may come in on its own timing, or it might not. So you don't really know at this point in time. So just really appreciating the mind and the doer, because that's usually challenging for them.
Super challenging.
and especially those of us who map it all out, right, and do the whole game plan thing and the milestones, which you're excellent at.
Thanks.
It's not easy when you can't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
The project manager in me is still alive and kicking, and now it's kicking me.
Yeah. So
also,
we want to first off awe for that, because that's not fun with kicking, and sometimes these things get mean, right? And it's like LB brought with the shame. So maybe a little no thanks for the kicking.
Yeah. There's some
Don't
guilt
like it.
too.
Not necessary. Just check. Is it necessary? Is this kicking necessary? Doesn't feel very good.
Yeah.
And so just apply that, just to slow down and apply that. Is it necessary to the foot, right? And to the project manager, and just see what comes back. It might be, but often it's not. So just see how it responds to that. Is this necessary? Kicking you, because it's not all nice and able to action it the way the project manager would like to.
I don't think it's useful right now.
Okay, good. So it's not. That's not useful right now. So that's wisdom. Yeah. And somebody else said that. Maybe not the doer is going to say that, but another part.
Even my friend is trying to put me in that space, right? Like, just It's like accept where you are, where I am specifically, and like embrace it and enjoy it to its fullest.
Yeah, and you would if
Mhm.
something else wasn't doing what it's doing out of love for you, right?
Right.
So it's not bad that it's happening. So let's just go back there again. There's a polarity, and the two sides are starting to show themselves.
Mhm.
So one side is like, hey, kick, let's get this plan together, and the plan, as plans often do, as we know, they're the map is not the territory, right? So they often have to be held. I often, with my take action plan, it's like, hey, draft 1.0, version 1.0, it's alive, it's going to morph on us. I always have to reassure my coaching clients of that, right? Same as my facilitation clients. Although the facilitation ones are harder because that corporate world and stuff you come from, right? It's all like constructed, and it's like, oh, that's real. It's in our annual report,
Right. It's done.
It's
Success.
all glossy and on excellent paper, and that's like real.
Tangible. We have a plan.
Right. Lead us to all believe, and investors to believe, and all that, right? So it's a bit of a performance and a polish that actually, if you scratch the surface, actually isn't true often, right?
It's lead,
Yeah.
it's not gold.
Yeah, but it's natural that our clients, and you in this case, would like to have that.
It's
And
security.
it's not particularly useful right now, all this kicking and trying to force something in that's not here right now.
It's creating some
So there's
noise.
the
For
two
sure.
sides, the part that wants it together and the part that's like, hey, it's not useful because it's not. So just welcoming the
Mhm.
push here from, the collision,
Thank
the
you.
conflicting energies.
It's particularly helpful to remember for me in the mornings, because in the mornings, that's like the highest level of anxiety probably for me right now.
Okay, now let's go to anxiety, because so that's, now we're getting clarity out of this push. Here is anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not comfortable to say, hello anxiety, you're welcome here, but you say it even if the words aren't true,
Hello, anxiety.
and just do your
Welcome.
best. Normally we do all sorts of contortions to get away from anxiety. I'm going to ask you to, and we're all here as backup.
Mhm.
We can all relate to anxiety. So, and some of us might be right there with you. So you
Mhm.
just, everybody come up to anxiety, right? Instead of whatever you usually do, get closer to it. Soft and gentle, come right up to it. Hello, anxiety, I'm here.
Mhm.
And just like when you come next to,
A tiger.
anybody respectfully, you come into their field, right? You just take it respectful. Don't reach out and touch or anything like that right now. That might be too much, but just come next to it. So your field's kind of touch. And just see what happens as you actually come into the field of anxiety. And might want to, this might be counterintuitive too, but just do a little bow.
Mm.
Just everything likes honoring. So whatever's appropriate for you for honoring, it might not be bowing, right? Sometimes flowers, candies, I don't know, right? But just like, hey, you're here. I'm going to respect you. I'm going to honor you. I don't know what your true face is. There might be a different face under there. So just in case, I'm going to be respectful.
Mm. I mean, it's here to protect me, I think.
That's what you got. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It's
huge.
also like, what's my plan anxiety is also words from my father, like back in the day. Yeah. So it's hardwired into me.
So just say hi to dad. Hi,
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
And the hard wiring, right? Natural. And that would have been protection too, right? And
Mhm.
probably even ancestral protection and wisdom, depending on what the historical ancestry stuff is about. Somehow planning and organizing and doing all that stuff was necessary or desirable, right? Given the context. So just agreeing with that, that's probably super wise.
Yeah. I mean, that was like a daily question in the morning. Like, good morning. What's your plan for the day? Like,
Oh, wow. So you got big conditioning.
big conditioning.
Yeah. Even if it came from a natural place, That's
Yeah.
not so fun.
Of care,
So,
care and love, right?
yeah. What's your plan today? So just like, wow, just lots of compassion. So for
Yeah.
you, even more than the average bear, you have conditioning. The conditioning is really, really thick. You got it every single day as a kid, right? Like, wow. And man to man, because there's going to be man stuff in there too, right? So it's the modeling that goes on, and
As
dad
much as
was super important for you.
as much as I rejected it throughout my life while he was alive, it's now it's like full circle. I don't know, reversing the lens, and it's like, yeah, it'd be nice to have a plan and to execute on that plan and minimize uncertainty and risk. Yeah.
So just bowing to the protection and bowing to the layers of messaging you received and the history connected to that, and just saying hello to dad because he's, we've evoked him and he's present here too. And just the full circle of the doll. Big, right? Lots of layers.
Super complex, but also so simple at the same time.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And just check on how anxiety is doing as it's been communicating with you and kind of unpacking this.
It's still there, friendly reminder in the knot of the stomach.
Oh, okay. Now it's showing you that there's the belly. So we're going to go into the knot. So just kind of swim up to it. Knot in stomach. Natural under these conditions. I've been in similar places in my life where I liquidated everything. A couple times, actually. Yeah.
It's therapeutic to let go of those possessions. Right?
Yeah, one side of it is. And then the other, the security stuff and the not knowing what's next, it's, there's a lot of vulnerability to that. So it's yes and at the same time.
Yeah.
And so the stomach's kind of weighing in here. So you just kind of swim on down to the stomach, to that knot. And just like you did with anxiety, just kind of bring your presence, right? Kind of right side by side, even kind of reaching out a little hand and just, hello, I'm here. And any words that you feel authentically compelled to say, my shorthand word is I'm here, right? I'm here, but there might be something that's more accurate for you.
I think for me, it's hola right now.
Excellent. Excellent. Hola. Hello. Hola. Not in my stomach.
Yeah.
And what happens as you hola? Spend some time with it. Bring compassion.
I guess there's something to that. It's not confronting, but it is confronting, but it's like a gentle confronting.
Meeting. Right? Yeah, it's like meeting. Instead of up here, it was kind of confronting, right? These two kind of titanic clashes. But here, you're just coming in soft. Presence, right? I'm here. Just getting close. No confronting necessary, just close. And it doesn't have to do anything it doesn't want to do. You're not trying to make it do anything. No pressure, right? Back to release what brought, no pressure, just hanging out. Just hanging out.
It starts to soften a little bit.
Yep.
A little bit of easing.
Yes, please. Just needed some hanging out, right? Be a friend. And just keep going with the being there, right? No doing, just being. You're just being with it.
That is a significant part of this whole transformation. It's the old life was all about doing, right? Burning the candle at all ends, multiple ends, not just two.
Totally.
And now I'm at the opposite perspective of just no mas doing, more of just being.
Exactly. Just agreeing, right? There's this big polarity again, and just agreeing. Yep, old world. We just kind of went in on it, on the doing, and now we're just kind of finding our way to the balance here, to the being. So you're doing it beautifully by just being with the stomach. Nothing to do. Let's just put the plans down for now. Priority here is just to be with my not in this stomach here. Hello, hello, I'm here. Hola, hola. Just keep being. If any yeah buts, sometimes yeah buts or something pops up and interferes, right? But it sounds like it's all just as you're being with it, it's softening and easing. So you're just continuing with the same.
I think so.
No pressure.
I mean, my mind's constantly going with like, all right,
Yeah.
what are the next plans? You know, it's
So let's kiss the mind, and now we're going to do that. We're going to try a few things with the mind, right? So, aren't you tired?
yeah.
Is the mind tired? It's good news when it is. So just rest. You can put some of that down. Just see how it reacts. Like, oh, you must be tired. And thank you for its service. Thank you for its love. Thank you for its awareness. Thank you for its tracking and scanning. Like, it's so on it. There's almost like a gerbil in the wheel or the smoke coming off, right?
Yeah.
And just that's got to be kind of painful.
Very much so.
Yeah. So lots of compassion for that sweet mind that's trying to do it all itself. And just you're being a friend with it. Rest. You can put it down. We've got a belly. We've got a heart. We've got all sorts of stuff here. It's not all on you, dear mind. Endure. And see how it responds. Sometimes they, can't go there, understandably, because they're just so in their momentum. But just see how it responds to our kindness and just all the support here. Everybody can relate to the overactive mind and doer. Just being really sweet and coming right up to it and just putting a hand on its back. Mines have backs, apparently. And just, hey, you can put some of that down. Would you like a break? We're in Mexico.
Yeah,
there's some hammocks around, probably. Yeah,
there are. My mind goes to the water, the blues, the blues of the water.
Yeah, so just invite it. Yeah, you can go to the water. Go float.
To blue therapy, as I've seen it called on the interwebs.
I love it. Blue therapy.
Yeah,
excellent.
A lot of writing about green therapy, like walking in forests, trees and stuff.
That's excellent. I love it. So just agreeing, it's saying, oh, is this blue therapy? And you're like, you got it, mine, blue therapy. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Come on in, mine. You get to rest too. Some blue therapy for you. And just reassure it, you're still going to be practical and there's going to be time and space for doing and thinking. And it's actually very productive to do some blue therapy so it can rest up and get ready for when something pops and it's like time to get into action.
Yeah.
And a lot of blue therapy, I know some of my best stuff happens, people always say about like in the shower, but when you relax, right? Like it's so actually productive to be, because then brainstorming and, various things happen.
Yeah. Quieting the mind so that it can,
intuition comes, right? That stuff that couldn't come through when it was so noisy. So just agreeing, quieting the mind. Good idea. Woohoo, blue therapy. Good idea.
Dig it. It's like stretching for the brain too, right? So we're
totally
developing a little more capacity by timing out.
Yep. Capacity through timeout. It's tracking, it's getting it. So just tell it, good job.
Yeah. I think that's like the crux of like what the button I need to keep pushing. It's like in hospitals, you have a button for sedation or whatever, like painkillers. I just need to press the button for that every time I
yeah.
tweet.
So let's get the button. Yeah. Yeah. So just the being button. Hello, B button.
Just be.
Just be.
And when I press that,
Not just do, just be.
that's right. Like, just do it is a nice slogan.
Exactly.
Just being is good enough for me. And when I press that button, the stomach releases, right?
Yay, yay, yay. Good news.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So that helps this. Yay. Excellent. Just good job, everybody. Good job. We like it. Yes, please. And just, yeah, capacities through timeout, practicality, doing, you're not getting rid of it all. In fact, you're getting ready to do it even better
Maybe.
eventually in its right timing. Just see what happened. It might all be unfolding nicely. So no obstacles, or there may be something that pops up. So just let me know.
Not yet. Not right.
Yeah, good. That's good news. Yeah, it's just unfolding.
It's
Going with it, and it's like,
yeah, it is. It's so this has been an exercise of like overcoming, let's call it traditional obstacles, like that I've grown up with, right? Like
Yep.
we talked about my dad and the plan, but also, so mom is surviving still, but she's in Jersey, and it's like I'm one of the only last living relatives with mom, and that may be an obstacle that I'm contending with.
So yeah, so we did dad layer, now mom layers here. So
Yeah.
just welcome mom.
Yeah.
And your love and concern for mom, especially after dad's departure.
Yeah.
And that whole process. Yeah, because I heard earlier when it was real fresh what was happening and what you were doing and being, and just the wow, deep love, right? For you and for your mind, especially, to part of this is concern for and awareness of mom as she's over there.
Indeed. And there's traditional, like, Italian families are like, you know, no hospitals, like we should be at home taken care of by our family.
Yeah.
We did that with dad, and that was travesty. And we're not trained. I'm not a trained medical professional, you know. So with mom,
agree with that. That's really important. The mind's reviewing, and it's coming up with that. And there's also like probably a big effect, right, that happened because of that. And it's pointing it all out. So just be really gentle with that. You're right. We didn't like it as much as we wanted to help and assist. It had some real downsides.
So with mom, I'm feeling like I'm abandoning her. So that's the obstacle, right?
Okay. So let's go meet the abandonment feeling of, and maybe probably guilt and stuff, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Italian
son guilt. Yeah. Yeah. So swim right on up, just like you've swam up to other layers here, and we're going to meet the Italian son guilt. Oh, hello. There you are.
Hold on.
Boom. And just be real kind with it. I'm here. Just come right, bring your presence right next to it, like you have with other layers here. And there is the guilt. And just agree you don't like it. You're kind of stuck behind a rock in a hard place because you didn't like what happened with dad. You don't want to repeat. And you have all the understandable conditioning and programming and expectations, all lovely things and hard things, complicated things. What happens is you kind of just connect and just be, right? No doing, just being with the guilt.
Yep. And like that's dissolving tension in the shoulders, basically.
Okay, great.
That's what I'm feeling, at least.
That's where you're holding that part of it, is in that area of your body. Yeah. So good to know. As we bring the being here, just being, pushing that button and being that with this guilt, wow, it just starts to dissolve in that tension in the neck and the shoulders. Good news. Thank you to that, because it released quite easily as you just came into presence with it. And just see what's here as that releases. Oh, thank you for the I can just feel that releasing in my own body.
Well, hearing this and seeing this, it just feels like I've made the right choices so far to like create the space.
Yay.
Yeah, create that space in order to unpack this kind of stuff.
So just yes, please to that. Made the right choices so far. Just the reassurance and affirmation that's coming. As you relax and be, then that can pop through that tension, right? What do you know? Made right choices is right there. Your intuition shows you. Yes, please to that. Good news, good news.
Yeah. Is this a good space to pause?
I think that's, yeah, I think you've, as a natural, plateau's the wrong word, but place you've got to, right? A nice place to be with and to integrate. And
Yeah.
it's so obviously the flip opposite of the kicking that was going on, right? Which is an affirmation about you've made the right choices so far. Yes, please. You know, just get acquainted with this. Grok with this. Marinate with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And literally get out there with some blue therapy. I mean, we can do therapy. We're doing blue therapy as we connect with all of it, but you've got actual physical blue therapy you can do too.
As you can see, I've been outside quite a bit. So
yay to that.
More of that then.
Vitamin D, yes, please.
Hourly walks on the beach, like hours.
Yeah. And you asked me the question, but I'll just turn it back. How's the body? How are you feeling at this point in time?
Pretty good. Stomach's fairly relaxed. Shoulders as well. I was a bit, like skin-wise, I was a bit clammy towards the end there, but just perspiring, I don't know. Just processing, I guess.
Yeah. So that shows us that some shift has happened. And it's not all going to be this red hot minute, right? Sometimes that happens. So we just want to leave the opportunity, because that does happen for people with consciousness, where kaboom, something happens and there's this radical shift that happens, right, in consciousness. So yes, please, for all of us, should grace happen that way. And usually most of us get it in layers, like Lisa, you were saying, you were kind of beating yourself up because here it is again, right? So it's like it happens in these layers. So it's a partial. And so just inviting the continued unfoldment, the continued connection, like the new neural pathway of being is welcome here, right? And the getting there a little bit quicker to the, oh yeah, I have a B button, right? Where the witness kind of recognizes what is happening and then remembers what the anecdote is. And just lots of compassion with that process, and just, yes, please, a little faster and quicker would be desirable, right? That coming into consciousness more and more, yes, please. That becoming, a new normal eventually, yes, please, or as soon as it would care to, yes, please.
And I love how
no pressure.
No pressure. I love how the person that's between the trapezes, if that person were to fall, what's the worst that could happen, right? Falls into the blue and can just float.
Well, it's kind of funny because I haven't actually drawn it on top of each other. So let's make that analysis as we look at the drawing, right? Like, yeah. So what do you know? Splash. Right? Splash and float. Yeah. And just also really reassure, because something understandably I can relate to from when I've been in these different places, right? There's that fear sometimes for me is even terror, right? The unknown, right? The what ifs. So that for that part that's really concerned about what is going to happen, right? Am I going to drop down? Not so bad if you just splash and float. So it's giving you a third option too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You good?
I've made the right choices so far. Made the right choices so far. Just assure that one who's scared about I'm going to fall. Well, I've made the right choices so far. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Not so easy to be in this unknown. You're right. And just, I'm capable. I've got lots of skills. I've been through these various things before in my life, and other things have popped out. Chances are something's going to pop out here too. Even something that I might like or that's going to be better. I got a great doer who can take care of that when that's appropriate time. But right now, being's in order. And that is something. In fact, sometimes the biggest doer is being. It takes those of us addicted to doing a while to recognize that.
Yeah, that's a difficult one.
And knowing that you're a process person, whether you do that formally or not, these kinds of moments come in handy in the bigger picture, just like mine have, right? Because each time we go through them and we get to the other side and the trapeze does emerge out of the clouds, or, you drop down and the terra firma arises, we get taught something, right? About trusting and about evolution. And chances are you'll be passing that along, even if you're not doing it in a formal way, because that's just who you are. You're into this change stuff, just not in the old model.
Right.
And I bet you a lot of those people, if you do go with that yacht and that boat charter thing, boy, a lot of those people are going to be like that. You're going to have great compassion.
Yeah.
And maybe they're in transition too.
Probably. Yeah. It's a good setting it's a good container. Let's put it that way.
Yes, please. Good job on getting there.
Thank you.
So it's in process. We don't have a full perfect little bow wrapped up on it, but there's been movement. So we're appreciating all the movement that's happened. Just see if there's a title that will reflect back to you the ahas or insights or the feeling, the stuff you're tapping into here. What's a appropriate thing that will help you with a handle of this as it's looking back at you?
Yeah, so far it's been a good reflection. Thank you. And it's going to provide a nice reminder for keeping on going.
Okay, keeping on. Is that your title? Keeping on going?
I think so. It's probably
Keeping on being?
Yeah, push the button, basically.
Push the B button.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Push
Yeah.
the B button. Okay, so awesome to see you.
It's great to
Hold space for
see
you.
and be with you as well. Thank you.
Thank you for everybody for the parallel processing. Feel free to use the chat. Anything you want to say to Mateo direct, anything you're relating to. Just going to catch up on the chat because I haven't been seeing it. Hola. Do I need an H in front of it? Thanks, I'll do that.
I was trying to be
Oh, yum. Okay, I think we'll pass around the mic. If anybody has something that they would like to do, I'm fine to go into bonus time. So just let me know if there's anybody who wants to, but I'll do an official close and then we'll segue. So just to raise a hand, if there's anybody who wants to do an inquiry or something, or we might be there for today. Looks like we're there. Okay. So then let's just use our remaining time here. We'll just pass around the mic and just any kind of closing comment, thoughts, etc. Oh, I should probably do a quick share here too. I am not my usual doer self. I usually have like 18 months in advance of my schedule all lined up, and I've got one thing lined up and the rest of them are unfolding. So I'm just going to share what's happening in Shift at School. So this is the site. What's coming up, and tomorrow announcement, the first official announcement will go out about this, is a new program I'm doing with Annika Lucas. Annika is a remarkable woman who, as a child, her mother sold her into elite sex trafficking, and she spent several years of her youth there in horrific circumstances. Thankfully, through a series of events, she did get out of that, which many people don't, and engaged on a multi-decades integration and healing process. So I am honored to be able to with her on shifting the power with love, impacting the global power structure through personal liberation. And it's for survivors. I think all of us nowadays are survivors of one extent or other, but survivors of all nature, of different kinds of hurts and traumas, and also providers. So people who are providing space for the meeting and processing of that. It can take a bit to get comfy with it, but if that's your longing to be able to meet things within or be able to hold and or hold space for others doing the same, this is a good program for that. I'm there as the graphic sidekick as well. I have multiple templates, and some of Annika's work I'll be transforming into templates as well. And the dates, it's about a month from now is when it starts. February 16th through to April 20th. It's on Thursdays, my time at 11 a.m. Pacific. Everything's recorded. So if you can't be there live for some or all of them, you can have the recordings. There's different levels. There's accessibility level. If your currency or finances aren't in a place that you can do the basic level. And also we have the basic level, which is these 10 webinars, and then the deep dive option is an additional 3 processing sessions, Q&A and processing sessions, and then some private time with both Annika and myself. And what we're doing here, self-inquiry, after each of these main ones, I'll hold space for 30 minutes of self-inquiry to help people process what we're meeting, because it's intense stuff, and there'll be various things going on as we meet. Privilege inside of ourselves, outside in the world, power dynamics at large. Where do we go up, right? So looking down on people, and where do we go down, right? Where we're kind of underneath people and putting them up. So it's I think really important stuff to be meeting and developing within ourselves, especially with all the stuff going on in the world involving power and power changes and resets, etc. Yeah. So just offer that out lightly. You'll know if you resonate, and you can check out that page on my site. There's a sticky ad that'll come up as soon as you come to the site. And I will be doing another visual coach cohort. I'm in the midst of one right now. So the next one will happen in the fall. I'm about to figure out the dates. There are a couple prerequisites, and you can read on the visual coach page if you're interested in that certification, what the prerequisites are. This is great to come to Satsang. This is actually the advanced work that happens in that container. And several of you here are coaches who've been through that program. So thanks for coming. And I've been, for my fundamentals course, Fundamentals of Working Visually, I have a home study kit that's available at any time. And I haven't run a live one for about 3 years. So I'm going to do another one sometime this year. I'm just figuring that out. I'm probably going to put the emphasis more on the work with individuals as opposed to the facilitation work, which I've done classically in that course. So stay tuned. There'll be some announcements about that stuff. Another satsang too. There'll be another private. This is the public satsang. And I'm in the midst of a private one right now. And that's got about 5 more weeks to go. So once that's wrapped up, I'll have another private one. And I'll announce those dates when I get clear on them. But right now, the real focus is just on the work with Annika. We're doing a lot of curriculum development and tool development because it's going to find its way into a book. She wrote her first book last year, which is her memoir, Quest for Love. And her model is called the unconditional model. So that's the next thing that's coming book-wise. So what I'm helping her to do is really create a container and space to think through and develop her material more. And we'll run the course, but then it's all funneling into a book. So that's really wonderful, and I'm very excited about it, and have created a lot of space just to do that and be that. So we'll see. The other stuff will unfold. Those other offerings I mentioned will unfold beyond that. Okay, let's, I think I stopped my share, did I not? Yeah, I did, good. So let's pass around the mic. Just any kind of, you can keep it to one word. How are you at this point in time? Short phrases, anything you want to say to complete. Susan, may I start with you?
Yeah, I just am, I'm really happy that I was able to attend this, and I just feel connected is the word
Yay.
I'd use.
Nice. Yes, please. Good to see you.
Yeah, and nice to see Jill as well, and Lisa.
Who you know, yay, yay.
Yeah, faces
Excellent.
from my past there, yeah.
Thanks. Yash, I'll go to yourself. Thank you for coming.
Thank you to all of you. It feels like the I know you all for a very long time because it just feels like meeting different parts of my own self, hearing
Yes.
everybody's expressions, and um, you helping them connect through their thoughts. Because sometimes you're constructing it differently than how the other person who is listening to you. And this medium of drawing or this visual medium, I think it brings the listener and the speaker together and forms a shared understanding. So, so I'm just really grateful for having stumbled upon this medium of expression and just this form of expression and meeting you all. Just
Yay.
very grateful right now.
Me too. Thank you for your presence. Yes, please, to the magic of working visually and the practicality. Nice to have you with us. Dolly, I'm going to slide over to you.
I feel pretty at peace with, just that conflict that I had earlier, and it feels a bit more settled. And I'm grateful to have this time and to hear everybody's shares. I as Yash said, I related a lot, to what everybody had, what everybody shared. Thank you for that.
And as you heard, relating to you too. Yeah, what you brought in here. Co-creation at its best.
I love that word.
Yeah. And to that, just like Mateo, right, to the unfolding, to the rippling. You're in a container right now, so more to be continued, more unfolding, more revealing itself.
And I'm going to use that hitting the B button. Yeah, it's really good. Thanks for that.
Brilliant. Yeah. Okay, thanks for coming. LB?
Me too, on a lot of what was said. I just feel a connection today that I often haven't felt, or haven't felt in a long time. And it's just very sweet. I don't feel so alone, and I feel connected is the other side of that. So, and I also enjoyed meeting those different parts of myself through everybody's work, and being reminded that it is simple and profound. And to be so skillfully led through that is just such a treat. So thank you.
Thank you. So good to have you here. Oh, good. Eyes open. I didn't want to, Jill, I'm going to go with you. Your eyes open.
Yeah, I've been deeply processing as everybody's been sharing and you've been facilitating, and a parallel process thing that was really, I'm really grateful for, Dolly, was this phrase that, you know, you have a song, I have a song that's my own, and I value that, and I can trust that, and that it needs expression, and it's also very personal. This cultivation of the soul and the soul guide that comes through with creativity, feeling that. So thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Thanks for being here. Being here. Yeah. Mateo, I'll give you the last word.
Thanks. Thanks to everyone here who I'm meeting for the first time, by the way. And yet, to your point, Ash, it feels like we've not just met today, right? That we've been in contact. So I'm feeling peaceful as well, and also a lot of gratitude to this circle, and also especially to Christina, who we run into one another about every, I don't know, 16 months or so, but it feels like it was just yesterday. So there's something super amazing about that. So thank you all.
Thank you. Ah, beautiful. Yes. Thank you everybody for coming. And I think I said the date. I can't remember what it was now. It's coming up in February. Did anybody write it down? I could bring up my slide, but Lisa did. She's going to unmute.
16th, February 16th.
Is it the 16th? Yeah. I don't have my slide in front of me. It'll take me a fumble to find it. Okay. February 10th, Friday, February 10th, noon to 2. We'll by the way, we'll follow up with this. So all of you who maps were created, Jill will send them to you. And what will follow eventually will be the recording as well. So we'll follow up. So you've got that, and the date for the next one will be in there as well. And just my honor to hold space. I get grokked and worked right along with it. So I'm very grateful for that unfoldment and transformation that continues to unfold in me as I get to hold space for all you fabulous, wonderful people doing the same on your end. So great co-creation. Take good care. I'll see you when I next see you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Hitting
Bye.
that B button.